In southern Malawi, a terrifying rumor is spreading across villages, markets, and communities. Men claim their private parts are mysteriously disappearing after coming into contact with strangers. Fear has turned neighbor against neighbor. Innocent people are being accused of witchcraft. Some are being beaten in public. Others are being killed. In one horrifying incident, a man returning from a public function was accused by a crowd of making another man's private parts disappear. He begged for mercy. He tried to explain his innocence. Nobody listened. When his wife rushed in to save him, the crowd turned against both of them. They were stoned to death together. But when authorities and medical experts later investigated the crimes, they found something shocking. The alleged victims' private parts were physically normal. So what is really happening in Malawi? And how did rumors become deadly enough to destroy lives? The rumors began spreading in southern districts of Malawi, especially in Nsanje and Chikwawa. Men claimed that after physical contact with strangers, sometimes a handshake, brushing shoulders, or standing too close, their private parts suddenly disappeared or stopped functioning properly. Fear spread rapidly through villages and trading centers. Word of mouth turned isolated claims into widespread panic. Soon, people became suspicious of strangers. Some residents stopped shaking hands. Others avoided crowded places completely. In many communities, people believed witchcraft was responsible. Rumors spread through Facebook posts, WhatsApp voice notes, and conversations in markets and minibuses. And before long, the fear became uncontrollable. As panic intensified, communities began taking the law into their own hands. Anyone accused of causing the disappearances risked immediate violence. One of the most disturbing incidents involved a man who had attended a public function. According to reports, he was suddenly accused by members of the community of making another man's private parts disappear. The accused man denied the allegations. He tried explaining himself, but the crowd had already made up its mind. When his wife attempted to rescue him, the violence escalated. Stones were thrown. The couple was attacked together. Both of them were killed by the mob. Their deaths became one of the clearest signs that the panic was no longer just about rumors. It had become deadly mass hysteria. Police later warned that innocent people were increasingly being targeted out of jealousy, suspicion, and misinformation. Authorities believe some accusations may have been used to attack successful or respected members of communities. As the crimes spread, Malawi police and medical authorities began investigating the alleged incidents. Some complainants were taken to hospitals and examined by doctors. Authorities said the findings showed that the alleged victims were physically normal. Their private parts had not disappeared. In several cases, complainants admitted that the issue was not physical disappearance, but rather they believed that their bodies were not functioning the same way as before. Medical experts reportedly found no scientific evidence supporting the claims of supernatural disappearances. These raised serious questions. If medical examinations showed nothing was missing, why were communities still convinced something dangerous was happening? For authorities, the answer appeared to lie in fear, misinformation, and mass panic. To many people outside Africa, this story may sound impossible to believe, but understanding Malawi's cultural and social realities is important. Belief in witchcraft remains deeply rooted in many African societies, including parts of Malawi. Stories involving cases, supernatural powers, and spiritual attacks have existed for generations. In terms of uncertainty or fear, communities sometimes turn to traditional explanations before scientific ones. And once enough people begin repeating the same rumors, fear can spread rapidly. Experts often describe this as mass hysteria, a situation where collective fear becomes powerful enough to influence how entire communities think and behave. In Malawi, that fear appears to have overwhelmed reason. Even after medical examinations found no evidence of disappearing body parts, many people continued believing the crimes, and in some communities, accusations of witchcraft became more powerful than facts. As panic spread, Malawi's communication regulator, MACRA, issued warnings to broadcasters and online platforms. Authorities warned against spreading unverified information capable of inciting violence and public disorder. Officials feared that sensational reporting and social media rumors were fueling attacks against innocent people. Meanwhile, some public figures began campaigning against the disinformation. Malawian social media influencer Moral Bahaya urged people to stop blindly believing witchcraft accusations and reject mob justice. He warned that fear and superstition were putting innocent lives at risk. But despite these efforts, the panic continued spreading across communities. Malawi is not the only African country to experience violence linked to witchcraft accusations and supernatural fears. Similar incidents have been reported in neighboring countries including Zambia and Tanzania. Months earlier, a woman in Zambia accused of supernatural practices was reportedly killed by a mob. Across parts of Africa, accusations linked to witchcraft continue causing violence, fear, and social division. Human rights groups have repeatedly warned that mob justice often destroys innocent lives. And once communities begin acting on rumors instead of evidence, violence can escalate rapidly. Whether people believe the rumors or not, one fact is undeniable. Real people are dying. Families are losing loved ones. Communities are turning against each other. And fear is becoming more powerful than evidence. In southern Malawi, what began as whispers about disappearing private parts has evolved into a national crisis involving misinformation, superstition, and mob violence. Police continue urging calm. Medical experts continue insisting there is no scientific evidence behind the claims. But for many communities, fear still remains stronger than facts, and perhaps the greatest tragedy is not the rumors themselves, but what ordinary people are willing to do to each other because of them.